Yes, that's why they would do it.
Oh, okay. I just assumed it's this.
Why is there all this smoke out there?
I'm good.
All over.
I was driving today, I just saw it. I didn't see it. Sometimes it's control bird. We haven't had rain either, so for a while, so.
Yes, it's really.
I'm not sure where he lives, I know.
I like the little, I know it's still, I like the spur. Yeah. No, oh, there's two, there's two. Two and ten, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll put you on. Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I have Mike on the phone, and he's on his way here, and so he asked that if you would, so that's not the whole meeting, that if you would, he's almost here, if you would start the meeting, I can set it on there. That's okay with you. All right, Mike, I'm setting you up on the table. Okay, good. Everyone can hear you, so just remember that.
We're gonna call this meeting of the Macon-Bibb County Board of Elections, order October 16th. And the time came from 4 to 5 p.m. Call order this time and ask for approval of minutes or addition to corrections to last.
Mr. Chairman, I believe there's a correction in the, I believe, the Devon computer, and Mr. Kaplan would have, if I'm recalling correctly, I think we need to change the minutes to reflect that. So, there's also an activity in the second item there that is correct, something for the Devon here tonight. Any others? Right, I would move that we approve those, look at elections. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. This time we have the 2 minute for individual.
I just want to thank you for this wonderful handbook and a lot of great information. Thank you very much.
We're working on an expanded one from that, will be out next year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll keep my last. I hope you can hear me. It's great being here. I love the 5 o'clock hour, so I would strongly encourage y'all, on behalf of citizens who work, or if they don't work, they have other stuff, but 5 o'clock is really a much better time than the 4 o'clock, and I think it'll work better for more citizens, probably you as well, especially if you get on the interstate. I also wanted to say that I'm opposed to a change of proposal that you're going to be looking at today, where you change the rotation. And I'd like for you to keep the rotation that you have had in the past and not the one that you changed to. But thank you for all your work, and we're going to continue working to try to get as many people out to vote this election as possible. Thank you.
Chairman of the board and members of the board, thank you for having us here today. I'm Mary Giselle, and I'm president of the Women Voters of Macon. And first off, I just want to say how much we support and wish you well. We know tons of things about the population. And I'm not only speaking for the league in Macon, but the national league. We're all about free, fair, and accessible elections. That's what we're about. Our concern has been, and we met last night, and a lot of concern in our group about the 5-year rotation. And mainly because we feel like it dilutes the influence of the independent voice. Because on 3 years, the chair every 3rd year, on 5 years, one every 5 years. And that means 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and 1 independent. And that really waters it down in our view. And I think because, these times in particular, we can stand more bipartisanship than ever before. And I think my experience has been that this board is that. And I think our community has to because of that. And I think this change would not make you look well, and it certainly doesn't make the league feel as comfortable with that breakdown. The ratio just isn't right.
It's had one in the back.
It's just two.
Right here.
Hey, I'm Sheila Keene, and I'm here on behalf of myself, an independent voter. I've always been an independent voter, and also on behalf of Macon Rising. We're a local coalition focused on protecting democracy and making sure it works for all people. And so I want to just follow up with what Mary Lou was saying. I kind of think the same thing, especially as an independent voter. I'm also a lifetime Maconite. I've lived here my whole life, and I'd like to understand why the proposal was made to change the location and what the long-term implications would be. Because on the surface, it does seem like it's minimizing the role of the nonpartisan member, and that concerns me greatly. So yeah, if you could just explain why the proposal was made and what the long-term implications would be, I would appreciate that.
Lindsay Holiday, I was second what these three citizens who said, I think they forced it better not to. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Katie Towers, I'm also a lifelong Macon. Definitely credits to the bylaw and Mrs. Bell, need, it's important to keep the balance here and for the independent members to have people fitting with the rest of the board.
Anyone else?
So it comes down to a matter of public trust. And we want to make sure, just as we want to make sure that the public has trust in you all as a body, and that we have all our voices heard equally.
Anyone else?
I want to agree with everyone that I disagree with the bylaw changes, but I also want to have some education on how that would affect going forward for the rotation of the chairs.
Anyone else? All right. We'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of poll managers. I think everyone has the list over by now.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I think my captain is still not here. And just a question for the authority, is he able to participate in a vote telephonically?
He can, there's a limit on how many times you could.
With 2 times a year.
In a year, and you could debate the reasoning, but I think, you know, so as far as whether it's for illness or another reason, but yes, I think he can vote, but I'm guessing that Mr. Kaplan, you'll be here. Okay. But yes, you can, Mr. Ellington, but I certainly understand if the board was put off the one piece of it. That's up to the. I don't have a report, but I think Mr. Abbott.
All right, the list on the poll managers, has everyone had a chance to read them?
Be careful.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate these people putting themselves forward to serve not as a
Second.
I say.
A motion and a second to approve the list of poll managers for this November 4th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes. then that would be carried.
Okay, since he's not, Mike, we're gonna give you time to get here. Proposal change to the board.
I'm so sorry. I do work for a living and I'm on my way as fast as I can. I'm almost university. It'll be 5 or 10 minutes before I get there. So I'm sorry.
That's no problem, just come on, just don't get into accident. Tradition.
I'm trying my best. If these people would just get out of my way.
You know, traditionally, how these meetings always run, so.
I'm trying to get there as fast as I can, y'all. I'm so sorry. I appreciate it. I've been doing this for a long time. It's the first time I've done anything like this. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
And I'll get there just as quickly as I can. I'll run. As good as I can run. I'm only going to I can't go like I used to, but I'll get there just as quickly as I can. I'm sorry. If you need anything else to do, go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna move it down toward the bottom of the list. We're gonna go ahead with the other bit. Staff report.
As we have on the board, you can see our numbers. Currently have 106,316 active voters. We have 9,622 inactive voters, for a combined total of 115,938 voters. That's accurate as of the end of the day on the 14th. We currently have 465 individuals on the DDS to be with, occur after the election. 6 Oliver registrations and 326 pending voters. As far as early voting goes, as of the end of the day yesterday, we had 575 people having voted. Really more than I expected, but it can always be better. Wanted to be better. As of today, here we had about a total of 500. Just on yesterday, on Tuesday, yesterday, and today, we had about 500 people vote here. So we're still moving forward. Tuesday may start nothing our last day. Different days, but we'll see. We appreciate all having our co-workers here at the office and there in Ussery and at Lane Lucas. We got all 3 salaries up and running. We're not overwhelmed by any stretch of the matter.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question, Mr. Gillen. Citizen came to me with some concerns about our website and out-of-date information on that. And the more I think about that, the more it bothers me. I know this from previous meetings, but I mean, the website is basically our front porch. It is the most common way that citizens in the county interact with us. And so if we've got old precinct locations or other things that are no longer accurate, that's a problem. I understand there are some logistical issues because we don't control the website from our office. But I've got a list here of some things that were problems, including the fact that the board member list has been out of date. And, God forbid somebody try to figure out, I think that's a board member and not the poor Joel Hazard. Barbara Boyer should be getting those calls like the rest of us. But in all seriousness, there were a number of issues that were called to my attention. I can hand over a sheet with those. But I would also suggest that I think they need to choose somebody in the office whose task it is to make sure that the website is updated expeditiously. Anytime we change precinct locations, the website needs to change. It doesn't need to change in a month or 2. It needs to change right away. And I know that we have to communicate with IT in Macon-Bibb County, but I think we can surely do better with working that line of communication. Well, I'll be happy to pass this over.
Yeah, some of those issues have been already fixed.
All right, well, I look forward to all of them being fixed.
And as you came in, you saw our new brochure put together. This is for this year. We're gonna have probably an expanded version sometime next year, before May. So it's, have some handy information. The board has several copies of the new statement. Do it as you will.
I think a print run with this.
I don't have that number.
I mean, my concern is I want to make sure there's enough to go around to anybody who needs to talk to this. But also, this is something that where information is going to go stale, it's on pages relatively quick. Like anytime we update precinct, that's going to have to be updated in here too.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get over. That is concludes my report.
Any legal report?
Yes.
Well, we're back down to where we have nothing left on the agenda, except, your present.
So sorry.
It's okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that we recess until Catherine enters the room.
I want everyone involved be involved. Come on, Mike. Yes, ma'am.
How you doing? Well, thank you. I hope that text message lesson put some fire on this hill. I don't know this man at all. He was a complete stranger.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good time.
Let's call the meeting back to order. Let's, go ahead and pull this, proposal off the table, bring it for discussion. And I want to modify the original, proposal to just be applying to the chairperson that will keep the rotation we were talking about straight. Now, there is some information floating around, I presume. Don't know that, I'm just presuming that on my own. But there's 5 members on this board, equal opportunity, just like equal 1 member, 1 vote. Just like you go to poll, you vote 1 time, you don't get voted twice. You don't get, take 2 terms. There's 5 members, everybody has to have an equal opportunity to vote in order, or to have to chair vote in order. That was the only purpose. This is nothing new on the House. The It's something that was put in the bylaw years ago, when someone did not want to serve, didn't serve. So they skipped over every time. And this will put a sequence of 1 through 5 members, and they'll go through the list, if anybody can't serve or don't want to serve, when it gets their turn, they'll drop to the list, bottom of the list. And they'll come back up again in 5 years, and then they will get the opportunity again. The misconception, I think, is that nonpartisan is attached to this fifth member, which is really an at-large vote. It's not a partisan vote. The county has an opportunity to appoint or approve, we can recommend, but they are the ones that approve or appoint that fifth member. It can be anybody. It don't have to be, it could be partisan, nonpartisan, whatever. But if I'm looking at it as an individual thing rather than a partisan issue. A lot of people, I think, looking at it from a partisan perspective, and that's not the objective. This is just a simple house cleaning process. The list 1 through 5 of the members, and that is the sequence of serving as chair. And if that's unfair, I don't know how any other the way I can explain it. It's simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody gets equal turn once every 5 years. I don't know how the third wheel got involved in this, or every 3 years. There's two Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 1 at large on this board. He has equal time, and I think the word of everybody on this board, I've worked for years. I'm not doing anything that should not be done. It should be corrected. It's not been done correctly in the past. It is equalize everybody the opportunity and fair chance to serve on the board at a predetermined time when they approach that number, when they know when they're coming up. And they got a whole year to think, well, I won't serve, but I don't want to serve. Then we'll go to the bottom of the list. If not, we'll come to the next person. It is nothing more than a cleanup. That's what it is anybody. Personally, like I said, I think the world of everybody on this board serves them, and I don't have any animosity or nothing about it. Anybody can do that. But I want someone to explain to me how could it be more fair than 1 through 5, and everybody gets 1 year. Then you can rotate 5 weeks back, come back to the list, with another service. That is the way everything I've ever done is usually situated in a process where everybody serves on an equal basis. And nothing to do with political process or political party. It's 5 members, and everybody up here has an equal opportunity and equally capable of serving. So I'm going to open this up for discussion from the board. Share your feelings. It don't hurt my feelings. If you want me, I've been told no before. I've been told yes before. So it's not going to change anything except the fact that we'll continue to do it the way it was being done. Or we'll make a modification, whichever way we choose. But we still have the opportunity to modify it if it don't suit the ones on the board. But they're the ones that's going to have to agree or disagree. I'm trying to do it in light of fairness. Everybody gets equal opportunity to serve. That's the only fair way I can see it. The panel is open to everybody for discussion. So anyone have anything to say pro or con on the board? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to point out, first of all, that all the law requires is simply that a member of the same party cannot, or a person appointed by the same party cannot be chair 2 years in a row. That is something that obligates, currently, that's something that we are in compliance with. And that's something I think either of the proposals would also assure compliance with. We had a custom in which we would have a rotation of 3 years, a Republican member, a Democratic member, and then the 5th member, and then starting over. And we broke with that custom earlier this year. And I had hoped to formalize it so that we could see a return to the status quo. So I did ask Mr. Nolan to draw draft language reflecting that as well as an alternative that we could consider, which we would formalize that 3-year rotation. So, Mr. Chairman, at this point, I would move the adoption of that language reflecting the 3-year rotation.
Anyone else?
Now, I guess that, you chime in on this, you know. It's actually a fact that the chairman has no authority to anyone else, that's true, with the exception of the next call meeting, and then we set the agenda. I think more of this position than maybe you do. When I say that, the process for being a Democrat or Republican nominee takes an election of few people in a room. The Democratic Party and Republican. This position takes a majority of this board who recommends it to the county commission who then approves. So I think there's more to this position. It's harder to get this position than it is your position. I don't think that we need a bylaw to tell us anything except what we have, and that the current person can only serve, you can't serve 2 consecutive terms. If I'm not mistaken, in my discussion with Mr. Nolan, we don't have any rules that go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We never had to worry about it in the past. We just had a historic rotation and a way to do it now. Paradigms can get you in trouble if you don't flow with the times and change things. But I don't think we need a bylaw, in my opinion, to change our rotation. You can simply vote that person in. Am I right, Mr. Nolan?
If I understand, based on our current bylaw, it is by vote, chair and the vice chair are elected. And there are 2 rules that govern. One is that the same party or the at-large member cannot hold it 2 years in a row. And this wouldn't apply to at-large, but the same party cannot hold both the chair and vice chair at the same time. And these are 1-year terms. That's right now, what's in place now is that, and you all vote every year, and everything else we've done in the past is the 1, 2, 3 rotation. I think we're calling 1, 2, 3, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that is the way it exists now. So you could have a 5-year rotation under the way it's written. You could have a 3-year, or it could be all over the place. So I can certainly understand your point is correct, which is that you can, right now it's 5.
And also it's possible, it's a 2-year sentence. I couldn't think of it.
Term.
Oh, term. That was right. That's what, I don't know how sentence came out. Term. So it's a 2-year term, I correct. So it could be possible somebody could be the at-large member because it's every 5 years, and that person would never even have the opportunity to serve. The Democrat or Republican would, because it's either you or you, or you or you, every 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This position, and understand this is a difficult position. You're absolutely right. This isn't an independent position per se. It's not a large vote. We just have happened to consider that an at-large vote all these years. So I don't know, I have to think about this.
So the at-large member, they can be a Republican, a Democrat, or independent.
Absolutely.
Right, so it could be, I mean.
That's what I said. It's an at-large member. It's not.
Right, so that's what I think people don't understand. They think it's an independent.
This person is not an independent person. This person could be a Democrat or Republican, depending on the makeup of this board and our county commission. That's what we're trying to do.
That's my point.
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. I mean, I think that legally that point is well taken, but also there's a practical matter that if this board recommends somebody to the commission, it's going to require support from people appointed by both parties. And so practically that means that somebody who is acceptable to both sides is going to have to get that point right. And I know that the commissioners that I've spoken with take very seriously the idea that this should be somebody who is an honest worker, who's not somebody from either side. I understand that under Georgia law, defining somebody as independent is very difficult, because we don't register people by party. But as a practical matter, that has.
Right, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, it's just, my understanding is that right now, Mr. Kaplan is independent, but if no independent, if he stepped down and there's no independent steps up, then we would have to appoint a Republican or a Democrat, and it would have to be somebody. No. And there's no independent.
Well, you certainly were able to come up with anybody this last meeting, you know,
Right, but
you didn't send anybody.
but I mean, if you
It
step,
obviously is a very difficult process.
right, if you
And
step
that's why I
down
said
and,
this, that while this question's here, it's a very important decision. Because it does take a majority of y'all.
right. But if there's no independent that is.
But I understand, but I don't think a Republican will vote, I don't think Republicans, he made a great point. This position has to be somebody you all agree on.
Right.
Whether it's a Democrat or Republican. But he's not gonna vote for, certain Republicans, and you're not gonna vote for certain Democrats.
Right. But if there's no independent, then there's no vote.
Well, just keep looking. I'm getting old.
Mr. Chairman, I would make one other point here, proposal that I'm suggesting. We would continue to have elections for chair and vice chair because it designates, which party has appointed the person who could be eligible for the 3-year rotation. But whenever a Democrat or Republican is going to hold one of those positions, there's still two to choose from. So there's some discretion for this board.
And are there not some counties that have that position is always in charge of elections?
Mr. Chair, if you'd like me to
Okay.
weigh in on that, I will.
There are some boards that have an elected chairperson that doesn't vote unless it's time.
Right.
Even members of one of them are part of it, but he lives on the board, and that keeps the equal of all subboards. That being the case here, if we had another person at large, we would have no problem. We wouldn't be talking about it.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to make is that it's the discrepancy in the number of.
Is there a motion on the table?
Mr. Chairman, I didn't make a motion, I was not the second.
Before we get going, and I agree to, I do want to make sure we clean up procedurally where we are, whatever Mr. Chair, you're ready.
I thought, is there a motion on the table? Yeah.
There are two motions, there have been no seconds.
There are two, let's hear the motion. What was the first motion?
So the first motion and the one that actually was on the table when we began this meeting was, I believe Barbara's motion from the last meeting, someone's motion from the last meeting.
Right.
That we formalize this 5-year rotation.
Okay.
Now, and that would for both the chair and the vice chair, and they were done in a way where it would be keep with the rules of separating, not having the same party at the time. What I believe Mr. Abbott did when we started was he made a motion that we amend that motion to only have it apply to the chair, so that the vice chair would just be elected as long as it's not from the same party that holds the chair. And so that was not seconded, and then Mr. Ellington has made a motion. And we'll get there. This is fine. We don't have any procedural clarification. Mr. Ellington, because we had it already open for discussion for the original motion. So Mr. Ellington, when he spoke, made a motion that we formalize the 3-year rotation, that it not designate Republican 1, Republican 2, that it just be a 3-year rotation to be voted on. Neither of those has been seconded. We would need a second on, I would presume that Mr. Abbott first, if he made this first. We would need a second, and then that would either go, we would vote on that when it's time, when the chair calls for it. And then we take up Mr. Ellington's motion, we would then need a second for it, if any, and then we take, the chair would take that.
Mr. Ellington explained his motion.
We have the language, I don't know that it's in front of us, but it's the same language as last time, where we would formalize the 3-year rotation that we had previously
vice process.
There's a Republican chair, then a Democratic chair, and a different Republican chair.
So in that case, a member of ours would be voted on every 3 years.
I don't think it changes the term of the member of parliament.
There would be no election on the year that it went to the member at large because someone would nominate that person. Right.
Question I have is, under our current setup, it could be Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Republican, Independent, because there's no formal court. If the Democrats and Republicans decided they wanted a Democrat to be in charge, they could do that. Right?
Yes, as long as you follow the rules of consecutive years.
No, I understand, but if
Yeah.
the Democrats and Republicans said to skip the independent guys,
Yes,
under his way, you can do that, right?
Under whose way?
just under either way.
Under either way. So if something's not broke, why would we fix it?
Well, we did discuss if we come down to, I just use as an example, come down to me serving and I say I don't want to, and then we just skip over that part. So that's what we've done in the past with the 1 and 3.
And we also had problems because some of the people that serve on the board were also officers of the local parties. And those
parties
officers of
cannot
local parties
serve.
cannot serve their parties as an officer of this as well. So if anybody's like on the board of their local, and I think it's on the board of the local Republican or Democrat party, they can't serve there either.
And I left something out of Mr. Abbott's amendment, which is that there's amendments when you do not want to serve and it's dropped to the bottom and the next person.
So then you would vote on it.
There's no voting under Mr. Abbott.
Only on the chair.
Only on the vice.
Vice chair. Vice chair would be subject to the chair or part of the party that they tell.
One question, Mr. Chairman, can you explain to me what the chair does that's any different than any other member on the board?
No.
There is a,
Call the meeting for, supervisor, and just cleaning up the wording, and putting it in code, codifying the process like, you do it as custom and change. You put it in on paper, and put it in file, then you know where your rules are. There's no set rules other than what we've always done. Do what you've always done, you'll always get it.
So I'm saying it's what we've always got. I'm just asking.
Okay, so the first motion we have, is that motion up, was Barbara's motion that we change it to 5-year, or is that, has anybody made a
Mr.
motion?
Abbott's amendment,
Yeah, but there's a motion made in the second, or third motion.
yes, that was what we did last time.
Fine. Now, he brings up, if you don't second it, it doesn't get done.
His motion to amend.
Okay, do we have another for a second now?
It's up to the chair, if he's ready.
Bring it up for a second. You want a 5 second, we will.
Okay, I second it.
Okay,
Now, then we have to vote on it.
now we have to vote on the amendment. Please, can somebody tell me what motion we're voting?
We're
We're voting on a motion, if I'm not mistaken. We're voting on a motion now to go to the 5-year plan.
To amend the original motion. I think we're amending the original motion, we would still have to act on the amended motion.
We vote on the amendment first.
Yes.
Okay,
But the member that's taking the vice chair off.
I got it. I understand. Got it. All right. Go.
We're on it.
You guys are all in favor of
So
this?
we have to vote to amend. This is not to
Not the
pass
Right.
the amended version. This is to vote to amend it and have it then on the table. That will then need to be voted on. So this is only a vote.
And it's not
To
the
allow
original
the
motion.
amendment.
If for the amendment, for the proposal amendment.
I second.
You already did.
Second. All in favor of the amended motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye, no. We got, we got 3 yeses and 2 yeses.
We only had
So it carries.
Now,
We're
the amendment
on
carries.
one.
Right. Now you vote
Now
on
we're voting on an amended version.
So this is the vote on the substantive proposal.
This is the original one.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to offer an amendment.
State your amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we substitute, the language in the 3-year proposal for languages for us.
Have a motion. One second.
the motion is, the amendment is what?
Substitute 3-year language
3 years for the what?
for the language that's currently in front of us.
What's in front of us?
What's in front of us is Mr. Abbott's amended motion for the 5-year plan for the chairmanship. Mr. Ellington has now moved to amend that to reflect the 3-year plan. And so this would be whether or not to amend the motion to become the 3-year plan. And but there's no second yet. Motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
A motion on the second. Any discussion on the amendment?
Okay. Basically, takes place of your motion.
This would replace the language that was previously altered.
Basically changes your motion.
Yes.
Hold on, did you withdraw your motion then? Your
We
original
don't
motion?
I don't think that was before, that never got seconded.
That's correct.
So now we're voting on an amendment to change it from a 5-year to a 3-year rotation.
Yes. Any discussion? All in favor of the amendment to the amended version of the original vote cast earlier, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
No.
We got
So
3, 2.
So now there's a
it's
motion.
been amended now.
Now you have to vote on the
And
vote.
now, so Mr. Ellington's proposal is now the motion on the table. Now the main motion.
We got
We've never had.
Just briefly, as a matter of explanation, what the proposal before us does is formalizes a 3-year rotation in which the chair is held by a Republican, then by a Democrat, and then by the 50 member, and so on.
any further discussion?
The vice chair, just for clarity for the public, the vice chair is just off of the rotation, but it's gonna be contingent upon which chair gets the seat, because the two parties can't hold the chair and vice chair.
There is as I understand it, there is a vice chair rotation. But there's not.
If it's the will of this body, I'm willing to drop that portion of the motion.
So that this would only be to the chair. I think it's.
So any more discussion? All in favor of the amended motion to go to the 3-member rotation versus the 5-member as the original cast, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. So we got 3 to 2 for the proposal, is passed, and it is passed.
I will certainly. Complex motion you ever had.
Please. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say something real quick. I know this has been a passionate topic for some people for some reason. And I understand what you're saying about that, and the perception is reality, the perception is that we were, and even though we weren't. I also want to say, be careful what we vote for. Now, you might not have somebody here like me all the time. You might have a Democrat or Republican sitting here going, why do we do this? And so I would like to let it alone, but I acquiesce to the wishes of getting something informed done, but I just know that. I think, you know, I think we got a great board, works together. I'm really excited about it.
That's why we have elections. Decide these things. But those companies don't do as well as we do.
Mr. Chairman, I think, we had a divide, we had some conflict here, but I don't think there was any animosity, certainly not on the part of myself.
We try, we give up, and give in. So, keep going. Okay, now, the 2 minutes per individual in, here, any comments for 2 minutes?
Thank you for your vote.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Donna Swan, I just want to say thank you for clearing everything with, Mr. Ellison, and thank you because I'm like, there has to be a balance in anything, so that, you know, it's just like if you're the only male in the house and they want to go shopping and you want to go watch sports, they gonna win. The girls gonna win. So it's gotta be always a balance, and then to have some person that's not affiliated with either party that makes it even better.
Anyone else? In the back.
So you mentioned something about the chairman and vice chairman cannot serve if they are members of the board of their parties. Am I understanding that correctly? So how is that not a general conflict of interest in any board member for the board of elections?
I don't know what you're saying.
So if you are a member of the board of your party, how is that not a conflict of interest of being on this board?
We can talk about it later. The fact of the matter is, we're nominated by Democrats and Republicans. They can do anybody they want.
It just seems like it's just a question.
That's what legislature about.
Are they aware of that, you know, when the parties are,
Yes.
electing, okay, just want to make sure that they're aware that their person, you know, serve as a spot. Or, okay.
Hello, my name is Julia Callahan. I
You need
think,
to speak up.
Sorry.
I'm old, don't have good ears.
I'm Julia.
Hey, Julie.
I think that what we saw here today was a group of people who are independent, who are Democrats, and who are Republicans, who have come together and have emphasized how important it is to us to have somebody in your seat elected and to be representative of the independent voters. And I think that I am very grateful for the Democratic people today and for your vote and upholding the.
Anyone else?
I have one question. So it's my understanding that this position is an at-large, is not.
You're absolutely correct. It is called the at-large.
It can be Democrat, Republican, whatever.
It can be
Is
Democrat.
it possible to make that an independent only seat?
No.
Why?
They said that they'd have to change it. We didn't make it, so we can't change it.
But it could be changed, but at a higher level.
I really honestly think that sometime in the near future, the state legislators will address my. I think that's.
As an independent voter, I think that would be as fair as you can. I would love that.
Next person.
I just want to say thank you all so much for serving the community. Today it's very important to have these things. There was a point of status quo, something that we've always done in black and white and our bylaws. So thank you all for that.
Anyone else?
Can I just say that as a former commissioner who saw through choosing a non-partisan person, it is very, very difficult. And one of the reasons that Mr. Kaplan, who served very ably in that position, we think of him as nonpartisan, and that's the consideration that's given. That's why he remained in that position, because there were attempts after attempts to try to come up with someone to fill that position, and we could not find anybody who was not either aligned with the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or the crazy party, or whatever. So, but he has served in that nonpartisan. I think I would have nonpartisan in my deliberations and not questions. So, that's why, and I think it's good that he's conversing, because I can't think of anybody, more aligned with right in the center, and then looking at all sides.
Anyone else?
I'll just make one comment, just for clarification. The reason we got here was because there was not a nomination for the fifth member. And it's my understanding that Mr. Kaplan, not certain as to whether the county commission was going to appoint someone to replace him, was not put forth for the chair position. And Mr. Kaplan actually nominated Mr. Adams, is how we came up with Democrat and Republican. No, didn't you nominate Mr. Adams? For chair?
No, that had nothing to do with it.
No, I know, but there was, I
I know.
don't know that people knew how we got here, because that was something, I think maybe Shay had asked how we got here to begin with, because I thought Mr. Ellington had mentioned in the prior meeting that he wanted to put this down in black and white so that we wouldn't have a hiccup and diverge from the custom. So that's what I was just gonna say, that it was the not having a fifth member nomination that sort of started the, because you couldn't be, because y'all were asking whether you could be chair, and it might have been the meeting that you weren't here, Mr. Ellington, but it was, because you were saying that what happens if I'm the chairman and then the county appoints someone else, because they didn't have a nomination,
Right.
and then you nominated Mr.
Well, because I couldn't be.
Right, but,
Second minute.
he did.
Anyone else? You have something?
I do, Liz, please let everybody know we have an election going on, and our schools are important. We had 300 people vote the first day. I know it's early, I don't think it's vote next, but this is a very important issue for our school system. So let's remind everybody to vote, and you can vote. Come back tomorrow.
Okay, I want to thank the group for your participation and the comment. We'll take every comment to our heart. We understand you. That's why we're here, is to listen. I want to thank this board for their work on this particular process. It went well. And we don't always get what we want whenever we start an issue, but that's a democratic way. Thank you all. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
And I'm sorry. I want that in a minute.
Adjourn.
That wasn't